The advice and opinions expressed by Dr. Granpeesheh and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. I promised Marina I would get to this one. I know we've got a lot of questions, but this one had already come in. When and how to request a change of therapists, RBT, and BCBA. I don't believe my son is progressing with his current goals, which is independence at school, and instead has regressed in other areas like social greetings and toothbrushing. I believe his previous therapists were more active and I saw more progress. I want to follow the right process and for the right reasons, because if it doesn't work, I'm afraid of being retaliated against for my son or my insurance hours covered. It's a great question.
It is a good question. I think you should, I don't know where your child is, but I would definitely have a conversation with the BCBA and start there and say, you know, I feel like these are things, areas he's regressed. These are things that we planned on reaching these goals and they're not happening. Just like be very honest and tell them all of this. And say, I'm really concerned that things are not improving and either we need to change staff or I'm going to start looking for other providers. Like, be honest about it. I mean, I think sometimes I cannot stress enough how important the relationship is that you develop with your BCBA, because they're supposed to listen to you, understand, be supportive, do the things that you expect for your child, be willing to change things, be willing to modify, be willing, I mean, they're supposed to be really your friend in this process, right? Your guide. And so I really highly recommend that you start there. Now, at CARD, we have clinical directors who are above all the BCBAs. In fact, we have all the group clinical managers, but above that is clinical directors. So at CARD, if there's ever a situation like this, we highly recommend that you talk to one of the clinical directors and then they jump in, and that's their job. That's all they do. They don't have their own patients. There's a bunch of them, and what they do is they drop in on our kids and our supervisors, because the vast majority of BCBAs now in the world are pretty young. I'll be honest, they're straight out of school, like people graduated a year ago. And not to say anything bad about anyone who graduated a year ago, but you just don't have the experience when you graduate a year ago.
Well, you believe in the power of mentorship, which is a great thing.
Absolutely, and I also believe very strongly in the power of experience. There's just time. Yes. I mean, I look at myself when I was 27 and got my doctorate degree, and what I knew then and what I know now, and I'm thinking it's a whole different thing. Like the more children you work with, the more families you've learned from, you learn more, you have more experience. That's why all my clinical directors are 20+ year seniors. Yes. And I think that's very important, is for you to be able to go to someone in the organization and say, I'm just worried, like you guys need to help me. And don't worry about retaliation. If they retaliate, they're not the right place for you.
Exactly. Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We hope to see you there.